our top 20 NFL fantasy football running back rankings. I'm joined this stream by my friend Cole.
Hello, how's it going? Ooh. So Brad.
Top 20 ranking. I feel like they're pretty good. I feel like most people will agree.
I feel like there's a lot of spaces in my list that people won't agree.
Probably.
Like,
alright.
Yeah.
Would you like to start it off with your number one? I wonder who's gonna be.
We're going 20 and down. We're going 20 and down.
Alright.
First off, we're gonna say our top 5 are notables who aren't in our top 20.
Yep.
Brad, who is one of your notables that didn't make your top 20?
One of my notables is Devin Singletary. I feel like he's going to have.
Oh, really?
I feel like he's going to have an amazing year with the Bills'
new. Didn't make your top 20.
With the new offense, but I don't feel like he's going to be good enough to be top 20. He's a big sleeper in fantasy football. Could probably get him pretty late, just even though there's not a lot of running back talent this year.
Yeah. One person that I have that's not in my top 20 is Melvin Gordon. I mean,
interesting.
He just joined the Broncos from the Chargers, right?
Yep.
But I mean, he's in a running. He's fighting for his job with Philip Lindsay.
That is true.
He just joined a new job. I mean, they have Drew Lock. Their offense is great. Okay, that's why he made my top 5 notables. But you know, I'm not a fan of people who split carries with other people.
You are not.
They may be good, but in fantasy, when they're splitting carries, they don't put up the amount of points that you want them to put up. So that's why Melvin Gordon did not make my top 20.
He also did do good though when he was splitting carries with Austin Eckler, and he still put up all right.
He did not have a good year last year.
He put up all right numbers.
He put up all. I mean, he didn't score that many touchdowns. Like Austin Eckler had a better year than he did.
Yeah, that's true.
And then like he goes over to the Broncos, splits carries with Philip Lindsay. I mean, I don't feel like he's gonna. I mean, he didn't have a top 20 year last year. He's not gonna have a top 20 year this year, in my opinion.
All right. Another notable I have is Jonathan Taylor. You can't put rookies too high up on the list, but he's also is most likely gonna do not terrible, so I put him on there. Colts have they do have a new quarterback with Philip Rivers on their team, which might give him less running time, but also they won't be expecting as much.
But he's splitting carries with Marlon Mack.
That is true. But I feel like he's gonna get the starting job over Marlon Mack. And then he's slowly just gonna break away from him until he's just mainly getting all the carries.
Interesting. Okay, this one might come as a surprise to some people, but David Johnson did not make my top 20. Johnson. I mean,
yeah.
He was insane. He was that guy that everybody would pick as their #1 running back on the team, and then about 2 years ago, I mean, he got hurt, and he's never been the same. Like, he hasn't put up any fantasy numbers. He's been hurt all the time. He came back last year. He played most of the season last year. He didn't really do anything last year.
Kenyon Drake kind of took over the job.
Drake kind of took over the job
in Arizona.
In Arizona, like he gets traded. He hasn't had a good year his past 2 years. His confidence is probably down. He hasn't proven himself to be a top 20 running back in 2020.
I also have David Johnson, not in my top 20. Same reasons as Cole just explained. He's been doing worse and worse over the years.
He's just been declining and declining and declining.
He still has a lot of years ahead of him, so he has a chance to improve himself once again. But I just don't think it's gonna happen in this year.
Yeah, I agree.
Texas don't have the greatest O-line. They're mainly a passing team with Deshaun Watson. They also did lose T-Hop, so I'm not sure.
Yeah. Another person that did not make my top 20 was David Montgomery. He's the #1 running back for the Chicago Bears. And I mean, he's had decent years, but he's still on the Bears. And the Bears aren't going to score touchdowns.
That's
If
true.
the Bears don't score touchdowns, and he's not going to score touchdowns. I mean, he's splitting carries with Tariq Cohen. And he's getting most of the carries, but Tariq Cohen's getting
Tariq Cohen's kind of the passing back. He'll get all the
Yeah.
receptions.
Yeah,
Which is a big part of fantasy football and PPR leagues.
I'm not
Even half point.
I think David Montgomery's a good running back. I don't think he's on a good team. And when you're not on a good team, you don't score very many fantasy points. And that's sad. He did not make my top 20.
Alright.
the
Another
other guy.
person. This one's a little bit of a surprise. I have Mark Ingram. I'm not on my top 20.
Andrew, if you're watching, I'm sorry.
I feel like he's got a great team. They just also have too many good players for him to be able to get his lot of yards. Mark Jackson's going to be stealing the show, passing, because they pass a lot, and he's also gets a lot of running yards. Mark Ingram is kind of sharing
That-
a little
that
bit, not
one-
really.
That one I am not going to agree with you on. He's having, dude, they use him in the screen game. He gets
That's
screen
true.
passes a lot.
He's
He
now
gets a lot
also
of
splitting
receptions.
carries with who is it? Who is he?
J.K. Dobbins. But
J.K. Dobbins and Gus
J.K. Dobbins
Edwards.
is a rookie. Like,
Splitting it with 2 other running backs. It's not help.
I don't know. He's used a lot in the passing game. He's used a lot in the running game. And you can get him very late in
You can get him very late.
I feel like he's a steal. I feel like he's going to have a good year. So,
Alright.
I'm going to argue with you on that one, bro. Okay. Damian Williams did not make my top 20. For this reason. Damian Williams, he's on the Chiefs. I mean, he's had alright years. But they're kind of a passing team. And they have Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to be their starter. He's going to be taking 80% of the carries.
I don't even
Damian-
have him in my notables, Damian Williams.
Damian Williams? I feel like...
I think
feel
he's
like
just gonna have such a bad year with Clyde Edwards-Helaire and once you, like you said, a passing team.
Yeah.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire isn't gonna be getting too many carries,
Nope, he's not.
just cause.
Well,
and
yeah.
then with splitting with mainly Clyde getting them too, he's not gonna have a good year. Might do all right in the passing game, but not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know what the Chiefs game plan is going into this year with their multi-running back set. But who knows?
They did kind of do that with Damian Williams and Shady last year,
Yeah, they did.
so it's probably gonna be kind of similar to that. Neither of them had a good year, so.
Neither of them had a good year, and yet they won the Super Bowl. So
Yeah,
like,
they don't
that
need
says
running.
that- no. All right, do you have anyone else? Guys?
I have one more player. And this one, I don't know. Raheem Mostert is my last notable.
I mean, they got rid of Matt Breida.
They did. He's gonna get most of the carries now. They are a running team. I just don't think he. I don't know. I just don't feel I don't feel good about him this year.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, but he's on the most running team in the NFL.
That is true, but I don't know. 49ers
He
kind of
did
weird team. Defense mainly carries.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like they're
don't
gonna
think
have a
he's
lot
gonna have
worse
that
year
good.
this year, especially after losing Emmanuel Sanders. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. I do actually have one more person who's not in my top 20. And this person is the one that is going to get everybody super mad at me.
Oh gosh, I don't even
Clyde
know.
Edwards-Helaire did not make my
Okay.
top 20.
Okay.
He didn't.
Yeah, you
Okay.
make me mad with that one.
What? You know, Brad. Okay, I've explained this to you before. I'm going to explain to you again. He's a rookie. He hasn't played in the NFL. How are you supposed to put a guy in the top 20 when he's literally never played an NFL snap in
Well,
his
what
life?
happened with Saquon? He was top 10.
Yes, Saquon.
He was
But,
top
like,
10 going into his rookie year.
It's rare you get a Saquon. It's not like Saquon's come every year. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I mean, he was picked with the 32nd pick in the NFL draft. He's never played an NFL snap before, and then I'm supposed to go and say he's a top 20 running back in the NFL?
I think he's gonna have a good year. Not great, but top 20. Better than a lot of people on this list.
Yeah, I don't trust him. I don't feel like you can grab a player who's never played an NFL snap in his life and say that is a top 20 NFL running back right there.
I think where he's being drafted in fantasy drafts or predicting second, third round. I think that's a little
that's
of a.
high. I mean,
That's a little high. I think he should be fourth, late third, early fourth. So I do agree that he's a little early.
After week 1, we'll know if he's a top 20 running back or not.
After a few weeks.
As for right now, he's not in the top 20 for me. I can't put a rookie in the top 20.
All right.
Well, who knows? I mean, I might have J.K. Dobbins in my top 20.
All right. Would you like to start off your top 20?
With the number 20, I have James Conner at number 20.
All right.
He got hurt last year. Okay. I mean,
he did.
2 years ago, he took over for Le'Veon Bell. And he was a rock star. He was doing great. People had high expectations for him in 2019, and he started the year off all right. I mean, he was drafted pretty high in fantasy drafts. He got hurt late in the year. Benny Snell had to take over. The entire Steelers team fell apart. Okay, Big Ben got hurt. James Conner got hurt. The Steelers were a train wreck last year.
They were.
They're coming back.
Their defense is good though.
Yeah, their defense is good. And, I mean, everybody's healthy again this year. I feel like it's a new start for the Steelers and James Conner. I mean, he's not splitting carries with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Besides maybe Jalen Samuels a little bit.
Jalen Samuels, yeah. But, I mean, he's mainly their number 1 back.
Mm-hmm.
He's on a fresh Steelers offense with Juju, Big Ben, James Conner. I mean, I feel like he's going to have a top 20 year. Who's your number 20, Brad?
My number 20 is Melvin Gordon. I feel like he's not the greatest running back, but I feel like I'll think he's going to have a comeback season from a bad season. And, why can't I think? On the Chargers. Last year, he still did good. He was 21st in fantasy points last year, so about where I'm putting him. He did have the 10th most touchdowns, though, but his rushing yards were not good.
His rushing yards were bad.
He only had 600 rushing yards, but he did have 9 touchdowns.
Last year, I did have Melvin Gordon on my fantasy team last year, and the thing that I noticed about Melvin Gordon is, in the end of the year, he would either have 2 touchdown games, he would score me like 20 points. It was insane. But at the end of the year, he would have those games where he only scored me 3 or 4 fantasy points the entire game.
He did not get yards. It was either boom or bust games for Melvin Gordon last year.
He was boom or bust games.
And he wasn't getting any receptions because that was all Austin Eckler.
Yeah, and we got to remember here, we're not, like, these guys may be great players, but in fantasy, are they top 20 fantasy?
Yeah. He only had 42 receptions last year, which is not good for a starting running back.
Again, Melvin Gordon, I did put in my top 5 notables.
Yes,
but
you did.
For fantasy, I don't think he's top 20.
Who's your number 19?
At number 19, here he is. I have Le'Veon Bell at 19.
All right.
Everybody had super high hopes for him going into New York in 2019. Obviously, he didn't have a good year. We can put that out there right now. He had a garbage year. But, I mean, again, he's on the Jets. He was in a whole new scheme. I mean, he didn't get very many carries. He only got 8 or 9 carries a game.
That's true. They were trying to prove Sam Darnold.
They were trying to prove Sam Darnold. He's a rookie, okay? I feel like they're still going to be a passing team this year. I feel like the Jets are still going to pass the football with Sam Darnold. I feel like they're going to use Le'Veon Bell in the passing game a lot more. I feel like he's going to get more carries. I feel like he's now used to the Jet scheme. He's not in a whole new team. He's kind of calmed down a little bit from his issues on the Steelers. It's his second year. I feel like he's going to have a top 20 fantasy year. That's why I put Le'Veon Bell at number 19.
I also have Le'Veon Bell at number 19.
Okay.
Last year, yeah, he did not have a great year. He only had 4 touchdowns, only a little less than 800 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's first year on the new team. It's not great.
You're getting used to a new scheme. You're trying to fit in. You've never been there before. And again, I mean, he's on the Jets. He wasn't with a good offense. It's not like they had a great team. So
And also, a big part of his game is the receiving game.
His receiving game, yes.
His run after catch is amazing, and that's what kind of moved him up to number 16 running back in fantasy points. He had 66 receptions.
Yeah.
For 400 yards, so that made it a not terrible year for Le'Veon Bell last year.
Yeah, I mean, Le'Veon Bell, he's gonna come back. We both have him at number 19. Brad, who do you have as number 18?
Number 18, I have James Conner. All right,
Conner.
I feel like
I feel like James Conner at number 20.
He's going to have a not terrible year. I feel like he's going to either do really good, maybe top 15, top 10, or he's going to be a lot lower, and the Steelers are still going to be falling apart.
Yeah.
It's kind of finally got away.
It's a boomer bust year.
It is.
For James Conner. Again, he had high hopes last year. But
he did. And
again,
he didn't. He was running back 32 last year.
Yeah.
So that's obviously not great.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, he was the entire Steelers team was a train wreck last year. They're coming back.
He only had 450 yards. Not really bad.
I feel like the Steelers are going to the playoffs this year.
You do.
Which will be another video coming after, but I feel like the Steelers are a playoff team, and I feel like James Conner is going to be a big part.
One weird stat about James Conner: he only had one less receiving touchdown than he did rushing touchdown last year.
Really?
He had 4 rushing touchdowns and 3 receiving touchdowns. Kind of interesting stat. I don't know. It's weird.
Again, he did get hurt, so.
He did get hurt. That's true. Who is
your?
your?
18, I have TG3. Todd Gurley.
Todd Gurley.
Todd Gurley.
I have him a little higher on my list. I feel like he's gonna have a breakout year.
You do. You know,
I feel like he's gonna have a breakout year on the new offense.
We were talking about with like Le'Veon Bell.
Mm-hmm.
You go onto a new you go onto a new team. It's a scheme that you never really been on before. I think it's gonna be a Le'Veon Bell story. I feel like the first year is not gonna be great. Okay, it's gonna be decent. He's gonna be number 18 on fantasy, but I feel like he just has to get used to the system. This is the first year. I mean, he's coming from the Rams. 2 years ago, he was the best running back in football, and then this year he comes back and he didn't have a good year. He had an okay year. The entire Rams team didn't do good. Jared Goff fell apart. All their wide receivers were getting hurt. Todd Gurley, I mean, he wasn't
he got hurt
Todd
too.
Gurley was doing 2 years ago. Yeah, he got hurt.
He was kind of splitting carries for a little bit.
A little bit. I mean,
not much, but still.
And then he gets surprise traded in the offseason. He's going on to a brand new team he was not expecting. I'm not sure. I don't.
Okay, whoever. I can't turn the robot voice off, so whoever that is, don't type. Okay. And I feel bad for you having brain damage, but it'll be okay.
Okay.
He said I have brain damage.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Alright. My number, what number are we on? 17.
17.
I have, okay, this one might be a little bit low. I feel like he could have a good year. Chris Carson. I have it number 17. I feel like he could have top 15 running back. Last year he was number 12.
Yeah.
He had the 5th most rushing yards, 10th most touchdowns. I feel like he could have a good year. But the Seahawks are kind of turning into a passing team.
Yeah.
Before they were more of a running team, they're kind of turning into a passing team with all these new targets. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Russell Wilson's doing amazing.
The thing with Chris Carson, like for fantasy-wise, is he scores touchdowns.
He does. He had 9 touchdowns.
If the Seahawks are in the red zone, I mean, Chris Carson's getting the ball.
Should have done that with Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah. I mean, Chris Carson is part of a 3 running back set. But at the same point, I mean, he does get most of the carries.
Okay, stop typing. Oh my god. Okay.
He gets most of the carries.
He does.
3 running back set. But, yeah, I mean, he's splitting the carries, but he's not at the same time. I feel like he's gonna have another good year. The Seahawks, they are a passing team, but
They can. Mm-hmm.
and number 17, I have Devin Singletary. I know you had him in the top 5.
I did. They also did just get Diggs. They do have a good offense.
Very super late rounds.
Yes, you
You could
can.
probably get
He's a
him
great
6.
sleeper.
He's a great sleeper. Like, he's not going to be really splitting the carries with anybody.
That's true.
And the Bills like to run the ball. With Frank Gore, they would run the ball. Devin Singletary, they're going to run the ball. Like, Devin Singletary's at number 17 for me. He's a great guy to pick up in the late rounds.
Alright. My number 16 is Leonard Fournette. I feel like the Jags are they're struggling this year. They're gonna struggle this year. I think they have a good chance to go 0-16 this year.
What? Are you serious?
Yes.
No, I disagree. I feel like the Jaguars' offense is great.
Gardner Minshew. They
Yes.
only have one good receiver.
They have DJ Chark. They have D.D. Westbrook. Okay.
Their O-line is hot garbage. They lost Calais Campbell and AJ Boye.
Their defense needs a lot of help. Their offensive line needs a lot of help. They have Gardner Minshew. He's flourishing. Okay. They have Leonard Fournette.
Flourishing
okay,
in his second year.
He didn't have a good year.
Yeah.
Leonard Fournette did not have a good year, but
He did not.
He's gonna come
He's a
back.
power
I
back
feel
and he
like-
only had 3 touchdowns. but he
feel
did
like
have
he's gonna come back.
1,150 yards.
Their receivers are good. The Jaguars have good receivers. I don't care what you say. DJ Chark is gonna be a star.
It has
And-
cancer.
I don't know.
Stop. Sorry. Whoever, I think this is Brandon. Why does the talk chat sound like he has cancer? It's in the slow-mo mode right now.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Why'd you put it in slow-mo mode?
I can't, I don't know how to change it. I'm sorry everyone watching, we have some
How
trolls
many
in
people are
chat.
watching? Like 2? How many people are watching? Rad.
Only one.
And probably Brandon.
Yeah.
Brandon, stop it now. Anyway. So Leonard Fournette's at your 16th spot.
He is at my 16.
That's kind of a rough. I mean, yeah.
Who do you have?
And I have Mark Ingram at number 16.
Interesting.
I mean, they brought in J.K. Dobbins in the offseason, but I feel like Mark Ingram's still gonna be getting the carries, and not only the carries, but he's used a lot in the passing game.
That's true.
In a PPR league, I mean, he's gonna do insane for as late as you can get him in the draft. I don't know why Mark Ingram is so late. People get him late in the draft. He's great. He gets a lot of receptions per game.
Brandon,
He gets
stop,
a lot of
please.
protections. He gets a lot of touchdowns. But again, the Ravens, they are starting to become a passing team, so that's why I don't have them higher. But at 16 is what I have them at.
Alright. Okay, Brandon, or whoever that is, can you stop? It's annoying. Alright, my number 15 spot, I have Austin Eckler.
Oh my
Feel like
gosh.
a lot of people have him a little higher.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think he's gonna do as good as people are saying.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
He's going to do a lot better.
Brad, you know what I think of Austin Eckler.
Yes, I do.
I've talked about him a lot. Oh my gosh.
I feel like he's gonna have a lot better year with Melvin Gordon gone. But I feel like
in a PPR league, he's a top 10 running back.
PPR league, he's gonna do good.
And you have him at number 15.
Yes, I do.
Why?
Because I feel like Chargers O-line is not good enough. I feel like they can't rely too much on Austin Eckler in the running game. He's not the greatest runner, and they have Tyrod Taylor and Justin Herbert.
Exactly. That means they're going to be running the ball.
I think their O-line can't keep up with all that, with all those runs. They have.
I'm going to tell you what I think of Austin Eckler when he comes up on the list for me, so you don't hear the same explanation twice. But I don't agree with the call.
He's young. He's got a chance. He only had 550 rushing yards last year.
He was also splitting the carries last year.
That's true.
We're talking about going into 2020 here, Brad.
He did have almost 100 receptions and 1,000 receiving yards and 8 receiving touchdowns.
Yeah.
But if he only can do good in passing, I don't think he's good enough to be a running back.
Well, he wasn't getting any running. Melvin Gordon was doing all of the rushes.
All right, you explain your thought process when you have him at number 2.
At number 15, I have Leonard Fournette. You had him at 16. I had him at 15. You already heard the entire spiel about Leonard Fournette, so I'm not going to say too much. But again, I mean, there's not many. They have Gardner Minshew. I feel like they're going to be running the ball a lot. Leonard Fournette, he didn't. Yeah, I feel like he's going to have a good year. Let's just leave it at that.
All right.
We already talked a lot about him. So
we did. My number 14. Cole's going to hate this. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, number 14. I feel like
I had him in my top 5 notables. He didn't even make my number 20.
I think he's gonna have a good year, even though they're a passing team. I think they're gonna switch more to the run a little more, so Patrick Mahomes doesn't have to carry as much, because they're running. They didn't have any good running backs to run it to. Damian Williams is not that good.
It doesn't matter. Okay.
Patrick Mahomes is going to be able to rely more on the running game, so he doesn't have to carry as much. He's still going to be good in the passing game.
When Patrick Mahomes carrying, last year the Chiefs had Patrick Mahomes carrying, the Chiefs were a passing team, and they won the Super Bowl.
I think now they're going to have more versatility.
Why would they change anything if their game plan won them a Super Bowl?
Because now defense are going to start switching to stop the pass more and not be expecting to run as much, so Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to be...
Clyde Edwards-Helaire is not going to be a top 20 fantasy back.
Yeah, you're right, he's going to be top 15!
No, he's not. Oh my gosh. Dude, I don't... They're gonna switch to a running team.
Not full running. They're just gonna run the ball more.
They have the best quarterback in the NFL who just carried their team and won them a Super Bowl. They're gonna keep passing the ball. They're also gonna
run a little bit more because defenses are just gonna start.
Yeah, they're gonna run a little bit more with Damian Williams.
No!
Yes.
Why? Why would they use their first round pick on a running back if they're not gonna use them?
Because he was a steal.
Well, if they don't need him,
it doesn't matter.
That's just saying. That's just saying. Oh, the Ravens are gonna if Tua is still available. Oh, the Ravens are gonna draft Tua because they need he's a good steal. No, they're not gonna do that.
Yes.
Why?
They will. Because then they can trade.
Oh my gosh.
They could. If the Ravens got Tua, they would. If the Ravens had Tua on the board at number 31, they would take him. Okay. At number.
Hold on.
What pick were they? 28?
Hold on.
Well, wait.
Hold on.
What pick were they?
Hold on. Okay, so in 2019, Damian Williams had over 100 attempts rushing.
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
So that's a decent amount of carries.
Yeah, and they're gonna keep feeding them.
No, they're just gonna be running it with different better running back, and they're gonna be giving him maybe.
How do you know he's a better running back? He's never played a snap in the NFL.
What? How did we know Saquon was gonna be a top 10 running back like everyone was saying?
We did.
In his rookie year.
We were taking a guess.
Well, I'm taking a guess here. You happy?
Okay. Yeah, I'm very happy. No, I'm not happy. I'm not happy at all that you put Clyde Edwards at 14. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I don't feel like he's going to be a Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley was taken second overall. Clyde Edwards was taken 32nd. Big difference.
Alright, well, who's yours then? Who's your number 14?
At 14, I have Chris Carson. You said the Seahawks were turning into a passing team. I feel like they're still going to run the ball with Chris Carson. They're running Chris Carson. He's been getting better every year. He's a solid fantasy running back. He's guaranteed to get you like 13, 14, 15 points every single week. He's super consistent. That's why I have Chris Carson at number 14. Wait, where did you have Chris Carson?
I had him at number 17.
Ooh. It's rough. Alright, number 13. Brad, who do you got?
I have Kenyon Drake.
You know what? I'm going to stop you right there. I also have Kenyon Drake at number 13. So
what?
we can go we can go together on this one.
I feel like he obviously proved himself last year with coming in 17th best running back. He didn't have all the yards. He had a lot of touchdowns though. 8 touchdowns.
Okay, I think a lot of people have Kenyon Drake top 10.
Yes.
The reason I don't agree with having Kenyon Drake top 10 is because he was on the Dolphins. He came in for like the last, how many games was he on the Cardinals for?
14.
14. And like he did insane.
He did insane.
But at the same point, I mean, the Cardinals have Kyler Murray, who
That's
is
D-Hop
like,
now.
They have D-Hop, they have Christian Kirk, they have Larry Fitzgerald. Their team is set up to pass.
Yes.
Their team is set up to pass their way to the playoffs. I'm not saying that Kenyon Drake's going to have a bad year, because I still have Kenyon Drake at number 13. That's not bad.
Yes.
All I'm saying is that I don't have him in my top 10 for the reason that the Cardinals, I feel like, are going to be a
set up
passing
for
team this
passing,
year.
yeah.
They're set up for passing. At number 12, Brad, who you got?
Number 12, I have Todd Gurley. Once again,
18.
I feel like he's gonna Gurley. I feel like he's gonna have a great year. I feel like he's gonna have a breakout year on the Falcons. I feel like the Falcons are making playoffs. Alright? I feel like he's gonna have a good year.
I agree. I feel like the Falcons have a chance to make playoffs.
They got an amazing offense. Julio Jones. They got Calvin Ridley who's gonna break out. They got a good Matt Ryan. They have now Todd Gurley.
Yeah.
They have a great team. No, they don't have Austin Hooper anymore.
They have Hayden Hurst.
Hayden Hurst. He's gonna be top 10 tight end in my opinion.
What?
Maybe top 15.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, he might be top 10. I don't know.
Todd Gurley's gonna break out.
There's not that many good tight ends in the NFL, so.
There is not.
But yeah, I mean, no one really knows how Todd Gurley's gonna do. We're just taking snipes at where we think he's gonna.
I think he's gonna have a breakout year this season. I don't know.
Do you think he's gonna do better than 2017 on the Rams?
Maybe not that good. But he had, he was still the 14th best running back last year, even though it was just a lot of touchdowns, 14 touchdowns, but not a 1,000-yard rusher.
Yeah.
But he's still gonna have a great year. He had 400 less rushing yards in 2019 than 2018. It's getting worse, but I feel like he'll have a breakout year this year.
Good. And at number 12, barely missing the top 10 is Miles Sanders.
Number 12?
Yeah. I feel like Miles Sanders is going to have a great year. Like, who are the Eagles receivers? They're not great.
They're not great.
They have Carson Wentz, who, I mean, he's been getting hurt, but other than that, he's a solid quarterback. but I feel like Miles Sanders, he's young. He's coming into the league.
They have an insane, probably best offense lineman in the league.
His offensive lineman is just unbelievable. This is his second year. He did great in his first year. He was great fantasy. He put up good fantasy numbers. He was consistent every single week. I mean, he just missed my top 10, but I feel like Miles Sanders is going to have a great year.
I agree. Miles Sanders is actually my number 11, so yeah, missing top 10 barely.
Miles Sanders just missing the top 10.
Last year he was 15th best running back in the league, fantasy wise. Stats weren't great. I don't know. He had 179 attempts. Receiving was not great. I don't know. I feel like he's gonna have a breakout year though.
He's not a receiving back.
He was splitting with Jordan Howard.
Now Jordan Howard's gone. So
Jordan Howard's gone now.
He's on
I feel like they're kind of turning into a little more running team just because they don't have great targets.
Miles Sanders is by himself.
Yes.
So if they're running the ball to Miles Sanders.
They do have Jalen Reagor, but he's not going to do great.
Yeah. No, he's not going to. I mean, yeah.
What was your number 11?
At number 11, my guy Austin Ekeler. Here goes that. Here's. Wait, where do you have Austin Ekeler? I had Austin Ekeler
at 15. Here goes this crazy rant why Austin Ekeler is one of the greatest running backs of all time.
He's good. He didn't even make my top 10, Brad. Okay? But he is number 11. Austin Ekeler. Oh, man. He's still... Okay, he did... Last year, he put up good fantasy numbers. He put up consistent fantasy numbers. And he was splitting... I mean, he was splitting carries with Melvin Gordon. And he was still doing good. Melvin Gordon is gone. He's on the Broncos. Phillip Rivers is gone. He's on the Colts. So, their quarterback isn't great. They're going to be a running team, and they don't have Melvin Gordon anymore. So, who are they going to hand it off to? They're going to hand it off to Austin Ekeler. He's going to do good. And when they do decide to pass the ball, Austin Ekeler is probably the best receiving back in the NFL, in my opinion, right now. Austin Ekeler. He had over 100 receptions last year. He's going to be getting all the carries now because Melvin Gordon's gone. He's going to be running the football for the Chargers. He's going to be catching the football for the Chargers. In a PPR league, I think he's going to do insane. They're not going to be as much of a passing team now that Phillip Rivers is gone, but I feel like they're still going to pass the ball to him in the flats a lot. I feel like he's going to have a great year for fantasy. PPR league, I feel like he's going to be putting up 20s every single week. That's why Austin Ekeler made my number 11 slot.
Alright. My number 10.
Alright, we are in the top
10. These are guys that you're thinking about taking either first round or second round here.
Or second round.
Aaron Jones is my number 10.
Alright, I also have Aaron Jones at number 10, so we can go together.
Alright, he was number 2 in fantasy points for a running back last year.
He was great.
He averaged more than a touchdown a game. 19 touchdowns, led the league.
Yes.
Over 1,000 yards.
Yes.
I feel like he could do better than top 10.
Aaron Jones. Okay, I feel like he could be a first round pick.
He could be.
If you're at the number 10, if you're at the number 11 spot, and like you're down to picking either like Aaron Jones, Miles Sanders, Kenyon Drake, those guys are on the board.
Yeah, take Aaron Jones.
He scores touchdowns.
He gets a lot of short touchdowns. They don't have a great tight end, which is normally where you throw it up to in the end zone. They just give it to Aaron Jones. They got no one sharing carries.
The guys who do well are the guys that score touchdowns, and Aaron Jones is the number 1 running back scoring touchdowner.
Yes. Aaron Rodgers is slowing down.
Aaron Rodgers, I mean, they lost their wide receivers. I mean, they have Devontae Adams, that's it. I feel like they're going to run the ball.
Alan Lazard is my sleeper receiver.
Yeah, Alan Lazard, but I mean, yeah, Aaron Jones, I feel like he could be a little higher than top 10, but I mean, I put him at number 10, so.
This is kind of a weird stat. He had the 8th best juke rate in the league last year.
And he doesn't seem like a elusive guy, but
does not. He is.
So yeah, I mean, we both agree Aaron Jones is gonna have a great year. Another
Alright.
great year.
My number 9 is Josh Jacobs.
I also have Josh Jacobs.
Gosh, this is gonna be the same. Josh Jacobs, sleeper. He's a sleeper.
He's a sleeper. Okay, he came in. Was last year his rookie year?
Yes, it was.
Last year was his rookie year.
He had 1,100 yards, 7th best, 7 touchdowns on a very bad Raiders offense.
Yes, the Raiders offense was not very well. Okay, the Raiders, they took Henry Ruggs.
Yeah.
Which, I mean,
but who's their quarterback? Derek Carr. He is not going to do good.
Carr. I feel like Josh Jacobs has improved a lot through his rookie year. And like he was a rookie and he still did good.
And he still did good, yeah.
I feel like he was a top 20 running back.
I had him on my fantasy team and he was doing good still.
I mean, he was putting up like 12 or 13 fantasy points every week.
Yeah.
I'll take that for a running back. And I mean, this year
he almost had 100 rushing yards every game.
Yes. Like seriously, it's insane. I mean, he didn't put up the touchdowns, but I feel like he's going to put up a lot of touchdowns this year.
Yes.
Josh Jacobs, if you can
take
put him on your fantasy team.
He's probably going 2nd round too. He's a great talent.
Probably. Yeah, he's going second round. I don't know.
2nd round, 3rd round,
unless you're
maybe.
like a 14-person league, I don't feel like you're going to be seeing Josh Jacobs going 1st round. So if you get the chance in the 2nd round, Josh Jacobs, add him to your team.
Yes. My number 8 spot, I have Nick Chubb.
Oh, wait, can I go first here? For
okay.
Number 8?
Okay,
I feel like this is kind of an upset spot here.
I already still on.
I mean, yeah. But I have Alvin Kamara dropping down to number 8.
Are you okay?
I'm not okay. What do you mean?
He is a great running back.
I never said he's bad. He's in my top 10.
He should go.
Let me explain. Okay. All these
you
things
have him
I'm
behind
saying,
Nick Chubb, Joe Mixon, all those guys. All those.
Yeah.
They're all fighting for those 6, 7, 8 spots.
All these. Okay. Everything I'm about to say does not mean I don't think Alvin Kamara is a great running back. It does not mean that I don't think that you guys should not draft Alvin Kamara for your fantasy team. I'm just saying why I don't think Alvin Kamara is a top 5 running back. He has Latavius Murray, okay? He's splitting carries with Latavius Murray.
Not really.
I mean, yes, he is. Latavius Murray puts up like 5 or 6 fantasy points every game. He gets 50 or 60 yards. Latavius Murray has a decent amount of touchdowns every single year. The Saints, they have Drew Brees at quarterback. Their wide receivers are Michael Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders. They have Jared Cook at tight end. They're gonna pass the ball, and Alvin Kamara, like he's a receiving back. That's what he does is he catches balls in the backfield. And he goes and he runs after catches for big yards, which I feel like he's gonna do. That's why he made my top 10. But I don't think he's a top 5 quarterback because he doesn't. When he runs the ball, it's most of the time Latavius Murray who takes it in for the touchdown. And in the passing game with the new addition of Emmanuel Sanders, I feel like there's a lot more guys for Drew Brees to pass to other than Alvin Kamara. Michael Thomas, the best wide receiver in the league. Jared Cook, Emmanuel Sanders. Like, yes, he's a top 10 running back. I don't think he's top 5 running back because of the guys around him. And I just don't feel like he's going to be that guy who carries the team and gets all those fantasy points because of the people that he has on the Saints and the people who are going to be getting more fantasy points on the Saints offense.
Okay. My number 8 spot, that was a big rant. Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb's my number 8 spot. I said earlier, Cole on to take it though. He is a great running back. He gets a lot of explosive plays. He's in a great young Browns offense.
Yeah.
He was number 8 last year. He was number 2 in rushing yards. He had 1,500 rushing yards. He had 8 touchdowns, which is really good, obviously. He had the 6 breakaways best percentage, 10 juke rate percentage. He was insane.
I mean,
In his
He's that
second
guy
year,
that he'll go and he'll score a 72-yard touchdown on any play.
Kareem Hunt, yes, is going to be taking most of the passing plays.
Yep, that's
He
exactly
still
what I
had
was gonna bring up.
50 receptions last year though.
Yeah, he's the Browns' #1 running back by a long shot.
Yes,
So
he's a
if
great
Kareem
running
Hunt-
back. He has a chance
Yeah.
to be higher up than 8.
Yes. If Kareem Hunt is keeping you from drafting Nick Chubb on your fantasy team, don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about him.
Nick Chubb is
Especially
going
if
to
it's not
be their
PPR.
#1 back. Yeah, Nick Chubb is going to be their #1 back. Draft Nick Chubb if you get the chance.
Kareem Hunt may be good flex spot.
Yeah. And the thing with Nick Chubb is that their passing game, Jarvis Landry is hurt right now.
Yeah, they do
he's
have great
questionable to
receivers,
start.
but
He's questionable to start. Odell Beckham hasn't proved himself on the Browns, I don't think. He's never had a good year on
no,
the Browns.
I don't feel
Baker
like he's gonna have a
Mayfield-
good year.
Baker Mayfield is still yet to prove himself. I'm not a fan of Baker Mayfield doing
Uh-uh.
great. Okay, everybody's like, oh, Baker Mayfield, he's going to be MVP. Bro, what else can you give him? You give him Kareem Hunt,
Yeah.
you give him Nick Chubb, you give him Jarvis Landry,
Give
and
him
you
Odell.
give him Odell Beckham
You give him
Jr.,
David Njoku even a few years ago.
and he doesn't make the playoffs? That means he's not a good quarterback. Which means they're gonna
What was
be
their record
running the
last year?
ball. I'm not sure.
Huh.
They did decent, but just enough they just squeaked out of the playoffs. But with that team,
They didn't even have a winning record. They went 6-10 with all
Yeah.
those weapons.
with all those weapons, you got
They have Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward on defense.
That's why I feel like they're not going to be passing the ball this year. With the new addition of Kareem Hunt, they're going to be a running team.
Yes.
Take Nick Chubb, and you're up again because I had Nick Chubb at #7, and that is why I put Nick Chubb at #7 for me.
Okay. My
Who's your
number 7, Joe Mixon.
Oh,
I feel like
you are a Bengals fan.
I am a Bengals fan, but most people agree with me. I looked up a few sites. Most of them had either 6 or 7. He was a great running back last year, even though he has a terrible Bengals offensive line.
And
I feel like-
do have I have Joe Mixon at #6, so I'll be going along with you here for Joe Mixon.
Okay.
Why
He's
I
a
think gonna be
he's very underrated. He has a chance to be top 5. A lot of people are saying, and I agree. He's just great. They did add Joe Burrow and T. Higgins.
They added Joe Burrow. The thing with that is they have Joe Burrow now. Okay, he's a rookie. No team wants to put a lot of pressure on their rookies. Okay,
They're gonna run the
The
ball,
Bengals
let
are-
him
the
let him
Bengals
fit
are
in a
gonna
little
run the
bit
ball.
first year.
They're not gonna have Joe Burrow throwing 40 times every game.
Yeah,
that's
they're
that's not what teams do with their rookie quarterbacks.
They're gonna
They let their
wanna-
rookie quarterbacks settle in.
That's why
I feel
I have a
like-
feeling I didn't put him in my notables, but I feel like Jordan Howard might have a good year too. Jordan Howard and Matt Breida, maybe.
Yeah. But I feel like the Bengals, they're going to run the ball. I'm not saying the Bengals are going to do good, but I think that Joe Mixon is going to do good. They're going to run the ball. Joe Mixon's a good running back. I think he's going to have a good year. If you can, get Joe Mixon on your team.
Yes.
All right, we are now to the top. Oh, wait, no, you saw
Number
share
6.
Yeah.
My number 6 spot, Delvin Cook.
Oh, my gosh.
I feel like he is a Vikings fan, so he
gosh.
doesn't agree with this. But-
Duh.
I feel like he's gonna have a great year. Obviously,
Yeah,
number 6 is
yeah.
a great running back spot.
All these people that we're saying, all these guys we think are going to do amazing. We're just
Yes.
ranking some above others. So
He was number 6 in fantasy last year for running backs. Had 9th best rushing yards, 7th best touchdowns. He's a great running back. I feel like Alexander Madison splitting barely, but still takes away some.
Alexander Madison averages like 4 or 5 carries a game.
Yeah.
So Dalvin Cook gets most of the carries. So again, if Alexander Madison is keeping you from drafting Dalvin Cook,
Don't
Dalvin Cook.
yeah. Delvin Cook's gonna have a great year. I just feel like all the other running backs above him are gonna have better years.
Yeah.
He had a breakout year last year. From 2018, he had 600, almost doubled his rushing yards.
Yeah. I mean, he's used a lot in the passing game.
Yeah, he had 500 receiving yards, 60 receptions.
Yeah. Good. All right. we're now down
Top
to
five.
the top 5. At
Draft all these guys
number
first
5.
round, probably.
Yeah, draft all these guys, like even Dalvin Cook and Joe Mixon draft.
Yes.
At number 5, I have, this is going to come to a surprise of a lot of people. Probably not going to give most people on this
No,
one.
I think I know.
But at number
what it
5,
is.
I have Saquon Barkley. At number 5.
I'll let you take
Okay.
this one. I'll explain my reasoning where I put Saquon when he's up.
Okay. We all know that in Saquon's rookie year, he was the star of the show. Okay.
Yep.
He just absolutely tore up the league. And then and then as I expected, in his second year, he didn't do as great.
He got
The reason
injured.
why- I mean, yes, he got injured, but he came back, and the main reason why I don't think he did as good was because he's on the Giants. Okay, who do the Giants have on offense besides Saquon Barkley? Pretty much nobody. So after his rookie year, all the teams were like, oh my gosh, the Giants have Saquon Barkley. Guess what they're going to do? They're going to run it with Saquon Barkley all game. He has no one else on his team. All of his opposing teams are expecting him to run the ball. They're prepared for him to run the ball. He's not going to have his rookie year again. I feel like he's going to have a great year. I put him in my top 5. So I feel like draft Saquon Barkley, but let me take this one, Brad.
Okay.
So I feel like, he's on the Giants. All the teams are going to be prepared for Saquon. I just feel like if you had a better team, he would do better. But he doesn't have a better team, and he's still Saquon Barkley, and he's still going to have a great year. That's why I put him at number 5.
Okay. My number 5, Alvin Kamara. We already talked about it a little bit. He doesn't think he's going to do great.
I had Alvin Kamara at 8. So
Yes.
I think he's going to do good because I put him at 8. But all these guys I think are just going to do better.
Alright, Alvin Kamara, he really overall has not had great seasons. He hasn't had 1,000-yard rushing in his season.
No.
In his career. But he is a receiving back.
Yeah.
He's had,
just like the reasoning
he's had
that I said.
81 receptions every single year of his career. Exactly 81.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
What is that?
Exactly 81.
Okay. Well, he's at least going to get 81 fantasy points, everybody.
Yeah.
So.
Alright. I feel like Saints, I think they might win the Super Bowl.
Oh,
They are
a Super Bowl contending team for me.
And I feel like Alvin Kamara is going to be a big part of that. Yes, like you said, Latavius Murray, he's going to get some carries. I feel like Alvin Kamara is still going to have 70-80% of all the carries.
I don't agree.
Plus all of the receptions. He's going to have a great year.
I mean, yeah, he is. I just don't. He's not going to have top 5 years.
That's it. I think he is.
I think, yeah, okay.
Yes,
At
they do
number
have all
4.
the receiving targets.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I still think running is still going to be a big part of their game.
Okay. Yeah, and that's why I think Latavius Murray's going to do decent.
He
Anyway,
could be a good flex. Could be a good flex.
Latavius Murray?
Yeah.
He could be decent. I feel like he could be a decent bench spot. But, yeah, okay.
Pick
At
him
number
up right
4.
now if you already had an early draft.
At number 4, I have Dalvin Cook at number 4. Okay, I don't feel like that's a bad spot to put Dalvin Cook. I don't feel like that's
Adam number 6.
I don't feel like that's too high on the list with Dalvin Cook. I feel like he belongs up there. I feel like he's gonna have a good fantasy year this year. They lost Stephon Diggs. Okay, they lost Stephon Diggs. Their O-line got better. Their O-line has gotten better each and every year. Dalvin Cook is used in the receiving game a lot. So if they do pass the ball, they have Adam Thielen to go to, they have Justin Jefferson to go to, and they have Dalvin Cook. They have Dalvin Cook to go to, and Dalvin Cook is going to do great in the receiving game, but he's mainly going to do good in the rushing game because the Vikings, they're a running team. They were a running team last year. They're going to be a running team against this year.
Yep.
And I feel like
With the loss of Diggs, they're going to be more heavily on Cook.
They're Dalvin Cook's going to get a lot of carries. He's going to get a lot of receptions. He's going to get a lot of yards. Again, he didn't score that many touchdowns last year, but he did score quite a few touchdowns. I feel like he's just going to be. I feel like he's going to be a number 4 fantasy running back in the league.
All right.
Who do you have as number 4?
My number 4 is Derrick Henry. He did insane at the end of last year.
Yes.
All right, so at the start, week 10, well, week 9, he had 63 rushing yards. Before that, it was 75, 90, 28. And then week 10, 188 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Exactly.
Week 12, 159, 2 touchdowns. Week 13,
Yes.
149 touchdown.
Yes.
103, 2 touchdowns. He had a bad game, Houston, week 15. Only 86, no touchdowns. Week 7, he didn't play week 16. Week 17, 211 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's going to be an insane running back.
211 yards, 3 touchdowns.
He's going to be an insane running back.
Oh
He had
my
the
gosh.
most rushing yards in the league last year and the 3rd most rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
The
And actually, going up to number 3, I have Derrick Henry as my number 3 running back in the league. In fantasy, all the fantasy things that you go to, he'll be like the number 5 or 6 running back.
Yes, take him early. Running backs are there's not too many great running backs this year. Take
If all
him.
the good running backs that we're about to say here in the next couple rounds go off the board, Henry is a dynamite option to take early in the draft. Like, first round, if you have the 5th or 6th pick, take Derrick Henry.
Yes.
Because I have Derrick Henry
A
at
lot of
number
people
3.
are ranking Derrick Henry like 5, 6. Do not.
I don't
You
get
should
it.
take him if it's like Nick Chubb.
He is a
Kamara
top
Cook.
3 he is a top 3.
Yes.
So Derrick Henry is at number 3 on my list. For all those reasons, I feel like Brad explained it great. Who's your number 3, Brad?
My number 3 is Saquon Barkley. You had him at number 5. I don't know. I don't
have
know
him
what
at
you're
number 5.
thinking.
I told you my reasoning. It's what happened last year. All the teams were prepared for Saquon to run it.
Okay,
and Saquon
Saquon
didn't have a good
Barkley.
year.
He had 1,000 rushing yards, 8 touchdowns. Not anything crazy. They have Golden Tate, Evan Ingram. They got who is it? I can't.
You say those players' names like you expect them to be good. They're
Daniel
not that
Jones
good.
is getting better.
Daniel Jones. Okay.
They have a pretty good offense. They're kind of like the Bengals offense.
Their offense is garbage.
No, they have Golden.
Yes.
Yeah, Golden Tate
Saquon
is
Barkley's
gonna have
gonna
a
carry
top
again.
15 receiver year.
Saquon Barkley is gonna try to carry again. He's gonna have a good year.
He's
I
so
had him
good.
He's
He
a
was
top 5
number 10
on my
running back
list.
when everyone was expecting him still. Plus, he didn't
Yeah.
play for a lot of games. He didn't
How many
play
games-
for,
how many games was he out?
4.
4. Yeah.
and he still had 1,000-yard rushing. Say he got
Yeah.
50, he would have 1,200.
How many
And that's-
touchdowns did he have?
How many touchdowns?
Yeah.
He had not terrible. 8. He
What
had
is it?
number 12.
8.
He had 8.
8.
Number 12.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
insane. He's gonna have an insane year. He's gonna do even better than he did last year.
I'm
He's
just gonna
really
point
young.
out, you're
They got
thinking
Andrew
that I
Thomas
think
on the
that-
offensive line to help Saquon.
Andrew Thomas. You're thinking that I think that Saquon's gonna have a bad year. I have him as top 5 running back on my list. I just feel like Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry, and my top 2 are better than Saquon Barkley. I just feel like they're gonna have better years.
Alright.
That's why I put Saquon at 5. If
Who's your
Saquon
number
has
2?
Saquon had people around him.
Who's your number 2? I think we're probably gonna have the same 2, 3, or 2, 1.
Yeah, we're gonna have the same 2 and 1 because if any of these 2 guys that we haven't said yet didn't make the top 20 or top 5 notables, then I'm gonna literally end the stream right now. At number 2, I feel like we both have Zeke Elliott. Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Zeke, he is
You wanna take this one,
insane.
Brad?
I got this one. I got this
You
one.
got
Alright.
this. Okay. Yeah.
Number 3 in running back fantasy points last year. Insane. He had 14 touchdowns, 1,300 yards.
14 touchdowns.
14
That's
touchdowns.
Insane. That's insane. 14 touchdowns in 16 games.
And he was gone week 8. He did not
He was
play week
gone.
8.
Yeah. 14 touchdowns in 15 games? Are you kidding me?
He averaged like 15 points, fantasy points a week. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure I saw
15.
somewhere.
He's super consistent.
Yes, he's
He's
probably the most
guaran-
consistent running back in the
He's
league.
guaranteed to get at least 15 rushes a game.
He's still
The
super
Cowboys
young.
Run the ball. He's young.
They added more
He's
passing
elusive.
targets, so they're going to be worrying more about the pass.
Yeah.
They also are probably going to pass more.
All I'm saying is that the Cowboys are scary this year.
They are.
The Cowboys are scary this year.
I feel like he's not going to have 300 rushing attempts this year again.
No. But I feel like he's gonna.
He's probably going to have
better
250,
rushing
200.
attempts.
Yes.
I feel like, yeah. He's gonna. No more words have to even be said about Zeke.
Yes.
And then number one, we both
Number
have
one.
Christian
McCaffrey.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh. At number one, Christian McCaffrey.
15,
Last year-
15 touchdowns, 1,400 yards.
15 touchdowns, 1,400 yards.
116
Yes.
receptions.
His ability to turn a nothing run into a big run is insane.
Yes.
And then, like, his rushing, oh my gosh, is great. But then let's take what makes Christian McCaffrey, and his ability to catch the football.
He had 1,000 receiving yards last year.
1,000.
That's
As a
more
running
than
back.
a lot
And he still
of.
And he still had 1,400 rushing yards and 15
Yes.
rushing touchdowns.
He is
How many fantasy points
insane.
did he average last year, Brad?
Average or have? I have the number he had. He had 418 fantasy points
400.
last year.
So just divide that by 16 and boom. Like his team around
416,
him,
my bad.
416.
And I'm pretty sure he sat out the last 2 games of the season. I believe he did.
They have
He averaged
what's the
20,
quarterback?
29, basically 30 fantasy points a game.
They're gonna keep running the ball with him.
Yes,
And they're gonna
they
keep
did
passing
get
the
rid
ball
of
to him.
Cam. He
No.
didn't really play last
Yeah.
year though anyways.
No. And I mean, they have DJ Moore.
Curtis Samuel.
It's gonna take some of the pressure off worrying about CMC. Even if
Yes.
they're still gonna worry about CMC. But the thing with him is it doesn't matter if they worry about CMC. He's still gonna have an insane game. It's just
Yes.
can't stop him.
You can't stop him. The linebackers are, if they take a corner on CMC, they're gonna have a linebacker on a receiver. If
Exactly.
they put a linebacker on McCaffrey, he's gonna burn him.
Yeah.
You can't stop CMC.
I don't care what you are. If you have Christian McCaffrey on the board, pick Christian McCaffrey. He is going to be the number 1 running back again this year. And
Unless
he's
something weird
gonna be
happens, something weird could happen, bust. But still,
In
most
our
likely
opinions,
he's gonna be
We
insane.
have him at the number 1 fantasy running back this year.
Yes.
Draft Christian McCaffrey.
Draft is Christian McCaffrey. I might have not have done that. I don't know.
Picked Michael Thomas first pick in our league.
I think back in on that, and it was not a good choice.
And then I was second pick. I got CMC. So yeah, it's great. Well,
That's
anyway,
thank you guys for watching.
That about wraps it up for our top 20 fantasy running backs. We will be
Come back-
coming out with a video tomorrow. It will be the top 20 fantasy quarterbacks.
Make sure to stay tuned for that one next week.
There is a lot of players that maybe are a little weird on the list from where most people have them. So
Yes. And make sure
stay tuned to see where we put them.
drive on the right side of the road.